My name is Akachi from Yalo, and I'm the commercial sales associate at Yalo. And Yalo is a rent financing company revolutionizing how Nigerians access housing. At Yalo, we help individuals pay their rent upfront while they repay us in flexible monthly installments. For employers, our solution offers a zero cost way to support your team's financial well being, reducing the need for salary advances, improving retention, and boosting productivity. It's my pleasure to welcome you to Employers Workshop 2.0, our second annual webinar dedicated to redefining employee well-being in the modern workplace. This year, we're taking a deep dive into the new employee benefit landscape, where mental, physical, and financial well-being are no longer nice to haves. They're actually strategic business essentials. Today's conversation is practical, timely, and designed to equip HR leaders and business owners with insights on implementing impactful well-being programs that drive both employee satisfaction and organizational performance. Before we begin, please note that this session is being recorded and will be shared with all registered participants after the event. And now, I'm especially excited to introduce our moderator for today's session, a powerhouse in the world of marketing and leadership, Mrs. Fien Toyo. She is the marketing director for Central, East, and West Africa at Beiersdorf Nivea, with over 15 years of experience building global brands across Africa and Europe. She holds degrees from Loughborough University and the University of the Arts London. She's a chartered marketer with CIM UK and has led strategic roles at Godrej, Diageo, GSK, and Mondelez. Beyond her corporate achievements, Fien is the founder of Empower You, a platform that has trained over 25,000 professionals across Africa. She's a multi-award winning marketer, a sought-after speaker, and has been featured on platforms like the BBC, Arise TV, and Channels TV. She was also named one of Africa's top 10 career influencers. So please join me in welcoming the incredible Fien Toyo as she leads us through today's powerful conversation. Fien, please, over to you.
Thank you so much, Kachi. Can you just confirm that you can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, fantastic. Well, thank you so much for the opportunity to moderate this really helpful session. It's really important for employees to always consider what I like to call the total reward package when joining any organization and when thinking about their career. So it's beyond the salary, but wellness is also very important amongst other key topics like their well-being and of course financial mobility. So it's great that we're having this discussion. Well, today I'm joined by four very incredible ladies that I'm very excited to have on today's panel. I will briefly introduce them and then we will go into the interactive speaker session. So today is an interesting one. There'll be questions that I'll ask each of the speakers, but we'll also give you an opportunity to ask your own questions. So in no particular order, I'd love to introduce the speakers for today. The first one I have is Abolaji Oresonwo, who's the people lead at Rivi. Abolaji Oresonwo is a seasoned HR professional with almost a decade of experience in talent acquisition, people strategy, and organizational development. She's passionate about building inclusive, scalable people systems and empowering employees to thrive at every stage of their journey. Abolaji is the people lead at Rivi, a clean energy fintech firm. In this role, she spearheads strategic people initiatives focused on enhancing performance, engagement, and culture. Her responsibilities encompass HR operations, policy creation, leadership support, and the alignment of people practices with overall business objectives. Can we please make some noise? Virtual claps for Abolaji Oresonwo. It's so good to have you on this call. Thank you so much for honoring the invitation. And then next we've got Joycey Awoshika, who is the founder / CEO at Oriki Group. Joycey Awoshika is an award-winning energy economist turned visionary business leader and the founder/CEO of Oriki Group, Africa's pioneering all-natural farm-to-skin brand. And I can testify, I've had a fantastic massage done by Oriki in-home. Amazing. So guys, I recommend. Under her leadership, Oriki has expanded into a wellness powerhouse with 13 spas and global reach, while also providing contract manufacturing solutions. Beyond her business success, Joycey demonstrates a deep commitment to economic development and empowerment through initiatives like SOAR, which provides essential business frameworks for entrepreneurs, and the Oriki Training Institute, which was launched in 2021 to set industry standards and address the unemployment gap. Her impact is recognized and supported by organizations such as the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund and the United States African Development Foundation. Previously serving as technical advisor to the Nigerian Minister of Power, Joycey balances her professional achievements as a devoted wife and mother while building global hospitality and wellness businesses alongside her husband. Please, guys, you know what to do. Let's make some noise for Joycey Awoshika. We're so happy to have you here. Thank you once again. And next, we segue slightly into
Sorry, guys.
Wow. Am I still connected?
Yes, we can hear you well.
Okay, fantastic. I'm not sure how that's going on, but guys, apologies. Power outage in Lagos here. But let me continue to introduce Chisom Ndukwe as we segue into our another HR specialist here, who is Chisom Ndukwe. She's the HR director at Pan African Towers. She's an experienced HR professional with over 12 years of experience in the public and private sectors. Currently serving as the director of HR at Pan African Towers, a leading telecoms infrastructure company, she shapes and implements the organization's overall HR strategy to attract, develop, and retain top talent. And I know how difficult this is. So kudos to Chisom. She holds a BA in Industrial Relations and Human Resources Management from the University of Kent and a master's degree in Human Resource Management from Aston University, UK, complemented by certifications from prestigious institutes, including the Senior Professional in Human Resources International. Prior to her current role, she worked at the NCC, Nigerian Communications Commission, where her responsibilities spanned across consumer affairs, regulatory services, and HR. Her diverse background provides her with comprehensive knowledge of the telecoms industry, enhancing her ability to align HR initiatives with organizational goals at Pan African Towers. She's passionate about the dynamic nature of the HR profession and its critical impact on employee development and overall company success. So please, let's give a virtual round of applause for Chisom Ndukwe. We definitely need more HR people that care about overall employee development and company success. I know many of us have thrown shade at HR people on Twitter and other platforms about how they don't really care. So it's great to see someone that's passionate. And last but not the least, I'm not sure we've got her on the call yet. We have got Sarah Lucena, who's the founder and CEO at MAPA. MAPA, in case you haven't heard of the organization, is a behavioral intelligence company which uses voice AI to decode what makes us unique, and it helps us build meaningful human connections at scale. She's a Latin American founder, former marketing executive, and a data nerd who's passionate about transforming how companies hire and how people connect together. So please, let's give her a round of applause. So guys, I know we're super excited about our speaker lineup today. I certainly am. Amazing bevy of powerful women that are breaking boundaries in their categories and this is super exciting. So I hope we're ready, buckled up, and ready to get into the questions. I'll advise everyone to whip out your pens, your books, and let's get right into it. So I'd like to start with, for today, let's start with Abolaji, who I introduced first. I'd really love to know, how has your company adapted its employee benefits package to reflect the evolving understanding of holistic well-being, encompassing mental, physical, and financial health, which are all rooted in the topic for today?
All right. Thank you very much, Finyi. It's nice to be here, and thanks everyone for joining the call. So, I would like to start with, as an HR practitioner, I like to look at what the trends are in terms of different areas in HR. So one of the 2025 total rewards trends encompassing compensation and benefits is the personalization of compensation. So it is crucial to access as an organization if your benefits adequately support employee experience. For us at Rivi, we understand that employee well-being isn't one-dimensional. It's a business priority for us. It's not just a benefit. So, and if it's not one-dimensional, that means you have the mental, you have the physical, you have the financial part of it. So what our benefit strategy does to ensure that we have this holistic view of it is to ensure that we provide different benefits in this aspect. So for the mental wellness, we offer flexible work arrangements. We know how people thrive for, I want to work remotely. I want a company that works, that has a hybrid work schedule. We provide that for our employees. We also foster open dialogues about work activities, relationship. We model healthy behaviors. We ensure that our senior management model healthy behaviors. And how do they do that? By setting clear boundaries and also expectations. Then we also offer regular check-ins. To promote physical health, we implement initiatives such as flexible gym memberships, whereby employees are able to access gyms that are close to their house. So any gym of your choice, you can access it. Then we also provide wellness support as well. Then financially, we go beyond salaries, right? For us at Rivi, for people who don't know, Rivi, our mission is to promote the rapid, transition of clean energy across Africa. So for us, our renewed focus on making clean energy financing more accessible across Africa starts with our employees. How do we do this? We provide solar financing loans so that employees have access to constant power supply. So that what happened with Finyi some minutes ago shouldn't have happened, right? Also, while we enable our hybrid workforce, we've partnered with Yellow Technologies to also provide rental financing for our employees as well. Employees also have access to learning credits to enhance professional development and many more. So what this approach basically reflects is our belief that if employees are well supported in every area, right, they show up focused, they show up engaged, and they show up motivated. Thank you.
You said a lot, but you got me on the solar solutions. Absolutely right. In a country like Nigeria, where you need to show up any time of the day, and NEPA, as we like to call it, can disgrace you, that is a fantastic solution to absolutely have. Please, are you hiring? Let me know where I can send my CV to.
We are hiring, so you can check out the career page. Yes.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much. I'm going to shift gears slightly and then speak to Chisom Ndukwe. I really want to know, at Pan African Towers, how are you able to, balance so many things, right? You're responsible for the well-being of a large workforce. How do you balance the diverse needs of employees across different locations? I'm sure you're across, pan-Nigeria and across Nigeria and other markets, and roles as well. So when you're crafting your benefit strategy, how do you balance the diverse needs, and how do you communicate these benefits effectively to ensure maximum utilization? Because a lot of HR people also complain that we create the opportunities for people to join gyms, HMOs, they don't use it, it ends up being a waste. So how do you balance the needs and ensure utilization?
Thank you, Fing, for the question. So at PAT, we're committed to addressing these diverse needs of our workforce. And to effectively balance these needs, we've adopted a monetization approach for most of the benefits, particularly for our junior to mid-level employees. So this strategy, obviously, we hope empowers employees to choose the benefits that resonate with their individual preferences to allow for greater flexibility. For instance, rather than providing a staff bus, we offer a transport allowance which employees can use based on their circumstances. So additionally, all staff receive or are entitled to the comprehensive HMO coverage for themselves and their immediate family members, ensuring that their well-beings are met. So to communicate these benefits effectively, we use a multi-channel strategy. We use email newsletters, we have regular town hall meetings to ensure that employees are well informed. And we're always utilizing data. We're always trying to gather feedback through surveys to assess, the utilization rates. Because like you said, a lot of the benefits, in the HMO actually go unutilized. So obviously this data helps us to continually refine our offerings based on the employee preferences. So right now, we're actually discussing with another HMO provider, and obviously we've done a survey and we're saying this is what we want. And, we're actually trying to pick particular things that we know that staff are going to use. So we're tailor-making it to employee preferences. So by adopting this approach, I believe we not only enhance employee satisfaction, but also foster an environment that respects and responds to the diverse needs of our workforce.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. I love that. The flexibility in offering solutions to the needs, but giving them that flexibility to pick how it resonates or relates to them, as opposed to some people would not go on the staff bus. So I like the fact that there's a transport allowance people can select, and then just the follow-up on utilization to ensure that, people are utilizing via the town halls and the newsletters. Awesome. Well, I'd really love to hear from an employer of labor to see if there's a different perspective here. So I'm going to go to Joyce Aoshika now and just ask you, to start off, in your experience, what's been the most significant shift in both employee expectations and employer approaches to benefits in the past few years, especially concerning overall well-being and thinking about the post-COVID era where employers are becoming more flexible and employees seem to want more?
Yeah, thank you so much for that question, Fee. Thank you so much to Yellow for this. And I'm excited to be here, especially as a company that has focused significantly on wellness, not just to our customers, but we can't walk the talk and walk the walk and not talk the talk. So we've also had to, definitely it's a priority for our employees as well. In my experience, the most significant shift in recent years has been the fact that employees are no longer viewing well-being and wellness as like a nice to have. It's now like a non-negotiable across the entire pool of employees, from even our operational staff who provide services in our locations to our corporate level, COO level, head of departments. There's been a clear move from traditional transactional benefits like salary and health insurance, to definitely more holistic request. Employees are asking for a lot more different things, even as far as mental health support, flexibility, personal development. We now have interviews where people are saying, what is a personal development package for me? Will I get trained? Do I have a stipend? In my company, everybody in mid and senior level have hundreds of dollars each as a stipend every year towards a training of their choice, and we cover it full. And then we require everyone on the lower level to take trainings every quarter, paid for by the company. This is part of personal development and it's been a huge perk. And I'm mentioning this because you'll be surprised that some people want to leave, and then they talk to their HR manager, and then they start assessing the differences. You're not getting personal development in some of the places you want to go to. You're not getting, if you're a mother in the organization, you do not work Sundays, like even if you're operational. And everyone knows in wellness spas and in hospitality, weekends are very important. But no, if you're a mother, you have Sunday off. So it's up to our HR team to go and sort the schedule out and make sure that we have coverage. But employees are really like, over the past few years, they're just saying, I don't just want to work and thrive. I want to be in an environment that sees me as a whole person. I want to be in an environment that cares about me beyond just what I'm offering. And then I'm also seeing, because you asked both sides, employee and employee, that was the employee side. I'm also seeing employers have to be more forward thinking. I run a consultancy called SOAR. I'm helping founders and CEOs scale their business. And most people have a people problem. Like literally when they sit down with me, their issue is people. Oh, my people, I can't get them to do what they need to do. I'm struggling with people. And when I look down, the employer is the problem a lot of times, right? Just taking a little step, not everybody's like Chisholm and Abalaji in their organizations. You have employers who just don't get it, right? They feel like investing in health insurance is a waste of money, whereas it's a non-negotiable for us. Our HR team will chase you down to fill out your HMO forms. If by week 2 of joining the company, you have not filled it out, we don't want any stories. So employers are thinking more about company culture and not just offering perks, but intentionally designing workplaces. We just moved to a new manufacturing facility, and I built in an entire relaxation area, like thought about it, like brought an interior designer to think about how they would relax, how would they balance work, safety, growth, all these things we're thinking about as well. So I really, really would also end this question by saying that a lot of people focus on customer retention because it's very important, right? Customer retention means cheaper customer acquisition costs. It means a higher lifetime cycle and all these great things. But the most important thing to me in my organization is employee retention. We celebrate everybody's anniversary from 1 year to 10, how old we are going to be in October, because we want to keep you. When we preserve our employees, we're preserving, legacy, we're bringing down training costs to onboard people. We're also our employees are who drive the customer experience. So the impact on performance and retention when you focus on well-being is undeniable. Ultimately, it's about keeping our people happy and about building sustainable, teams that can scale with us.
Wow, that's amazing, Joycey. I love what you said around how you focus on employee retention and you're building legacy through the employees. And from what you've discussed, you're focused on mental, there's physical, there's financial well-being, development, there's a lot. So I need to ask you a follow-up question. From both the employee and employer perspective, mental, physical, and financial well-being are our focuses for today. But which of these 3 do you believe is most often overlooked? And what are the potential consequences for the individuals and the organizations?
Thank you so much for that question, Fee. I love the question. All 3 pillars, mental, physical, and financial well-being, they're critical. And they're actually very deeply interconnected. But especially in the African business continent, because, a little bit of my background, I moved from the States. I had never been to Nigeria before when I came. So working in America, working in Fortune 100 companies, working in New York, these things were a part of like our everyday. What I'm building right now was like already perks 15 years ago in the States. Like I had spa benefits, I had credits, and we're just seeing that attribution now and people taking that seriously. Honestly, in the African business context, the most overlooked one of these pillars is mental well-being. And that I would stamp any day. And many organizations and people still treat mental health as taboo, or you need deliverance, or it's secondary. And they're only addressing it when there's like a visible crisis. Okay, someone is going through grief. They're not able to speak. It's affecting their body, their weight loss, all these things. They're not able to perform and we want them to work. But when it's not prioritized, everything else unravels. Like productivity drops, creativity suffers, communication communication breaks down. There's so many things that happen when you overlook mental well-being. And, from the employer side, when mental health is neglected, it also creates this concept of like silent suffering. So when people don't have a voice, basically what happens is they show up physically, but they're completely checked out mentally. Don't know if anyone has experienced that at work or seen an employee who's literally just checked out mentally, but they're there, right? But they're disengaged. They're experiencing burnout. They may have like sudden movements of absenteeism just because they can't handle what's going on. So at Ariki, we've seen how this is really a big and overlooked pillar. So we've made it part of who we are. We've held space for conversations. We create employee wellness check-ins. We have anonymous check-ins. We have an on-demand therapist to speak to people. And we've just created a culture where people kind of feel seen, supported, and empowered to do their best work. And I think in my closing comment, ultimately, if you get mental well-being right, it becomes like the fuel for both financial, and I think the other one was physical, like physical well-being. It becomes the fuel for it all. And basically, it's not just about like good ethics and caring about people. It's really just good business as well.
Absolutely. So spot on, Joyce. You're right. In Nigeria, we're light years ahead of the Western world when it comes to just focusing on mental well-being. And like you said, it's still a taboo. It's still very much, spiritual deliverance. And people feel ostracized when they have to speak about it. They feel weird. So a lot of multinationals now even have these employee assistance programs where you have a psychologist or psychiatrist on demand, but people are still afraid to use it because they're scared that, will this information be shared? What does this mean for my job? So it's such an important topic to touch on, to talk about, and to focus on as employees, but also as the employer, driving that change for people to feel comfortable and for us to focus on supporting people that may have these challenges, rightly so. So I'd like to talk a little bit about the financial side of things. And I've got a question for Chisom. Financial stress, especially in Nigeria, is a major concern for many employees. Now they're calling it the T-pain economy. So you can imagine, in your experience, how does it manifest in the workplace, impacting productivity, engagement, and overall performance? And what are the less obvious costs to the company?
Financial stress is very real and, like you said, often the silent challenge in the workplace. In my experience, it manifests in subtle yet significant ways. Employees facing financial strain may show signs of distraction, increased fatigue, heightened anxiety. Their concentration tends to wane, and obviously decision-making becomes a bit sluggish as well. And we may observe rising rates of absenteeism or presenteeism, like Joyce spoke about. And over time, these factors collectively impair productivity and hinder team collaboration and diminish overall morale. The indirect costs associated with this financial stress are equally, if not more concerning. We're talking about high turnover rates, often resulting from employees leaving for better paying opportunities, and also propelled by financial pressures, T-pain economy, rather than the career advancement aspirations. And additionally, the erosion of trust and psychological safety within the organization can occur, especially when employees feel unsupported in their struggles. In extreme cases, financial stress may foster an environment where unethical behavior, such as resource misappropriation, becomes a risk. Like in our sector, the telecom sector, we faced an ongoing concern of diesel theft, which is a direct reflection of our financial strain creeping into operational integrity. Fortunately, we've been able to address this decline swiftly. We've implemented policies, procedures, and we have a proactive approach to this, especially when it comes to pushing cultural initiatives. However, this situation underscores the need for constant vigilance. Financial stress is not a problem that disappears. It's a reality that we need to acknowledge and actively manage to maintain a healthy workplace culture. So to effectively mitigate these issues, we have to consider offering financial wellness programs and, giving access to counseling services to employees, which I feel could empower employees to navigate their financial challenges better. So by addressing financial stress, we can safeguard not only our workforce's well-being, but also protect the overall integrity and productivity of our organization. Yeah.
Ah, in fact, I don't know what to say. There's something that you mentioned that really triggered something in me, which is that financial stress can also trigger financial mispractice within the
Yes.
organizations. Yes, and you know what? Totally correct. And we've seen that. I've worked for 5 different multinationals, and it's a constant thing that we see. But then there's the other side of the debate that says that, even when some of these people are paid handsomely, they will still do the same thing. But I think it's really important to make sure that employees are not under undue financial stress, because like you rightly said, it can impact the performance, it can impact integrity, but also their physical and mental well-being. So it's very important, and I'm happy that at PAT you have this very rigorous and robust approach. So I'd really like to hear from you, Abology, specifically on feedback, right? We've said quite a lot already in this short time space, but what role does employee feedback play in shaping your approach, the company's approach to employee benefits and just the overall well-being initiatives?
Okay, so for me as an HR practitioner, I believe that the people closest to the experience should shape it. So when we are personalizing benefits, it's good to get the buy-in of the people that actually use it. And these are the employees as well. We all know that feedback provides insights to, in terms of like benefits, provide like what are their needs, what are their preferences, what are the concerns. And it's also to ensure that what we are offering actually reflects real needs, not just assumptions. You can't just assume that someone needs this particular benefit. You need to know what they need, then offer it. So first, I would say it helps us to like relevance, to know what is relevant, what do they actually need. You'll be surprised that if you offer 10 different type of benefits, only 6 of them are relevant. All you just need to do is to probably invest more on those 6. So you have to be able to so that is one of the things that feedback helps us with. Secondly, it helps us to make like responsive adjustments, right? So we are, okay, based on your feedback, we've improved our flexible work policies. You could have people say, okay, you are to work remotely, and some people restrict you that you can only work in maybe your location, your house, then you can maybe travel, maybe interstate or maybe outside the country, that outside Nigeria, right? Yeah, so it helps us to make those responsive feedbacks so that maybe we've refined our gym subscription, we've increased it. Maybe we got feedback that, oh, this amount we are offering for gym subscription is not enough. We need to increase it. So we do that as well. So I also mentioned inclusive design, right? So it helps, employees are aware that, oh, they are involved in like co-creating these initiatives, right? So it actually reflects, their needs. Basically, our feedback helps us to know where the gaps exist, what is working and what is not, and we make the necessary changes accordingly.
Absolutely. And I love that you're not afraid of feedback. They say feedback is the breakfast of champions, and that's necessarily true for companies as well. And I just wanted to share really quickly, at our organization, we were revamping our HMO policy, and we had come up with this fantastic one. And then once the leadership team presented it to the entire organization, they were like, no, 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 we prefer the old one. And we're like, but this is giving you more cover. They're like, no, we don't care about XYZ. We care about timeliness, customer service, etc. And so we had to go back to the drawing board and then give them what they wanted. And for me, that was such a learning curve, because it meant that what we had envisaged as a business was not necessarily what the entire employee, looked at, was not what the entire employee staff strength looked at, but rather more stuff around the gym, the spa, and not necessarily the degree of treatment. So thank you so much We're going to go on a little 2-minute segue. I'll let Akachi from Yalo just take us away. Thank you.
Thank you. Can everyone hear me? Okay. Yeah. Okay. So had such an amazing.
Akachi, you're a bit faint. Your voice,
Okay.
you're audible but very faint. Your voice is really low.
Is this better? Can you hear me?
We can, but still struggling.
Hold on.
Please just give us a quick second for Akachi to get her sound back. But while we do that, I'd like us to welcome our other speaker who I introduced earlier, Sarah Lucena. Please, let's give the virtual claps and welcome to Sarah. And let me just reintroduce her as she's joined us. And Sarah, special thanks to you. I know you're dialing in from a really inconvenient time zone, but we really appreciate. Thank you so much.
Thank you, you guys. I'm super excited to be here. Thank you for the invitation. Super excited to share a little bit and learn from you all. So thank you again.
Yay, fantastic. So thanks, Sarah. For everyone on the call, especially if you missed the intro, Sarah is the founder and CEO of Mappa, a behavioral intelligence company using voice AI to decode what makes us unique and also to build meaningful human connections at scale. She's a Latin American founder, former marketing executive, and a data nerd who is passionate about transforming how companies hire and how people connect. So thank you, Sarah, for joining. Yes. And Akachi, do you want to just try again?
Yes, I think this should be much better. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay, great. Okay, so we've had such an amazing session so far. And I like the fact that a lot of employers are putting employee well-being at the forefront of all their business decisions. And here at Yalo, we actually position ourselves as an employee benefits. So Yalo helps salary earners and business owners to pay their rent in monthly installments while we cover the full rent upfront. In a country where landlords demand 1 to 2 years rent in advance, we're easing that burden one employee at a time. So here's how Yalo works. You sign on to Yalo as an employer and you onboard your HR team, onboard your employees. Your employee that needs rental financing then makes a rental finance request, which we approve within 48 hours once we've done all our credit checks and all the necessary checks with the agreement, with the landlord, and all of that. We approve the disbursement of your full 1 year to 2 years rent to your landlord. And we offer a very flexible rental payment plan, either 6 months, 9 months, or 12 months, whichever payment plan works for you. So we partner with companies to support staff housing as well at no cost to the business. This helps to improve staff retention, productivity, and obviously financial wellness for the business and for the staff. You have your capital as a business to use and do other things for the business, and your staff also has staff housing available. If you've already funded your staff housing, we can also take it off your books and reimburse you. So if you've already gotten a staff housing and you've paid 2 years upfront, we can actually rebate you. We can actually reimburse you for the months that haven't been used up in your rent. And then we take over the management of the staff housing and actually financing of the staff housing as well. We've worked with over 50 businesses supporting over 10,000 employees, including your Ricky Group, Mrs. Joycey Awashika's company, The Place, Temple Housing, Rivi, and a lot more other companies. If you're looking to boost your HR offering without adding any overhead, Yalo is your partner. If you're an employee that needs rental financing, get in touch with your HR, tell them to call us immediately to become a partner so that we can sort you out within 48 hours. You can sign up. If you're an employer, you can sign up at partners.yalo.ng. That's partners.yalo.ng. Or you can just drop your contact, your name, and your phone number in the chat box, and we'll handle the rest. Thank you so much, Ms. Fien. Over to you.
Thank you so much. Fantastic. And that's just an amazing benefit that employers can also offer. Fantastic stuff. So for some people, they don't like the housing allowance, or some companies can't even afford to do that. So please, if you're an employer, you work in HR, this is a fantastic initiative for you to incorporate into your employee packages. So once again, good to have you on, Sarah. And I'd like to bring you in very quickly. Baptism by fire, as we like to call it in Nigeria. So my first question is concerning your company, Mapper.ai. You focus on streamlining hiring and matching talent. In today's very, very competitive market, how do you see efficient talent acquisition contributing to the overall well-being of a company's existing employees? Because some people get threatened by new talent. So how do you see this working?
Thank you for the question, Fien. That's a great one, especially for fast-growing organizations, right? When we see that there are also different moments within the organization. So the things that brought us here are not the same things that will bring us to that next stage of growth. And it's important for the current team to evolve towards that, but also that the new hires hit the ground running. And I like to answer that question with, I'd say, like 2 point of views. The first one is a culture point of view. I think it's super important for us as leaders within our organizations to understand that a strong culture is a learning culture, right? It's a culture in which employees and collaborators actually feel safe enough to make mistakes and learn from those mistakes, and continue to look how to become their best version, their best self. I've seen that more often than not to have the capabilities today to realize that businesses that actually end up succeeding are the ones that are learning machines, right? That can take in every new challenge and make it an opportunity. So working within your culture and making sure that your leadership it's aligned with this learning mindset, it's fundamental to make all collaborators actually feel safe when new collaborators join the team, because they also understand that these not only their spaces are secure for as long as they are willing to